Hi, I'm doing a viewer request today on Ranbir, Kapoor, and Alia Bhatt. Um, I just looked like quickly on the web, like a photo of them, and my first impression was that Ranbir, you know, is sort of transitioning from being like kind of a party boy um, into like the dad type or like a more mature version of himself, more like focused. But it's like an awkward transition because it's like new territory for him, and but he really has a strong desire to like create, to really make this transition to being like a good partner and stuff, and but it'll have its like moments of self doubt or challenges, or because like if you've been doing like some repetitive behaviors like partying or flirting or whatever, like it's hard to just totally change your character completely overnight. So I think like people, fans, or themselves, like they need to have patience through this process, which I feel which would take like about a year and a half for him to really settle into his new purpose as like a husband. Um, and um, and that includes like toning down habits, like if he's used to like having like cocktails or whatever. Just kind of bringing that down to like it's kind of like he needs to renovate. If you think of himself as like a house, he needs to do a full renovation of his house, like internally, and like throw out the the party couch, and like maybe switch up the the bar for like a meditation room, or like I don't know. Like it comes up a lot in my readings, like suggestions of like starting a garden, or like even if you live in an urban environment, like it's still possible to grow like one plant like on your balcony, or just next to a window. But like I'm assuming he has more like money than that, so maybe he has like some land, or I don't know, like a yard or whatever. So he could like get into like nurturing, like before any children arrive, like he's like got himself accustomed to nurturing a plant, and that like takes time, and that like something will come of it, but it's like there's a waiting time, and maybe during bachelor life like there was less emphasis on nurturing something over a long period of time. um so there's a certain amount of like training he needs to do to like make a marriage work, um like to live differently. He might also need to sort of switch up his friends a bit. It's like he can still have the friends he had to some degree, but he needs to like nurture some new friendships of people who are like super stable, so that he has that support to like be good, you know. Because people who are like devoted to being silly are gonna not want to be the only person being silly, so that like sometimes pressure their friends to like do what they're doing. Um, yes, I feel like there's like a 2 month like detox he needs to do, either from alcohol or something like that. That's like sort of to put his body on like refresh, like, and maybe he can have like a someone who's like a nutritional counselor or like something like that, like to help him go do that. Like, um, So it's like while he's blessed with the marriage and stuff, like he still has to go through this like difficult transition to like be suitable like husband material long term, you know. And it is something that he wants to like succeed at, because I feel like he put off uh, getting serious with someone until it was like the someone he had faith that he could go the long haul with, yeah. Um, but it's like people need. He's not perfect, and people need to like stop demanding that he be perfect, and that like to have some empathy about this like lifestyle change. Um, I feel like there's like two women in the background who like want to test his resolve. And so like if pictures show up of like him chatting with another woman or whatever, I think you can think of it more like he's sort of cleaning up the past rather than like starting something new. So don't like jump all over him. um okay, and I think like sorry, my throat is like maybe someone doesn't want me to talk, but I think like Alia has a similar resolve, and it's like a bit nervous making, like being, you know, entering into marriage and stuff. Like while it's great, it also, you know, it's like a change. So and she's sort of half wondering like, can he do it? Can he make this transition to being like a super stable husband person? And her fears shouldn't take over. So if there's some ways that she can distract herself with like working out, like focusing on bettering herself rather than helicopter parenting like how he's doing, because like that's his process. And if you marry someone, you have to sort of trust that they will find their way and that you're not like guiding them every step of the way, because like he'll end up resenting her if she's like hovering over his process or criticizing his process. Either someone stays with you or they leave, and there's really nothing you can do about it, and that you shouldn't be like hyper monitoring them, and you have to see it as like a blessing either way. Like I mean, what's the purpose of faith if you don't have like faith that like God is like running your life properly? And like if you're spending a lot of energy resisting what is, like, then you'll like pay the price for that. So it's kind of like they're walking like a tightrope together, and people need to like not be criticizing them too much in the early stages of this. I think in 2 years it'll seem like, of course, it's natural, like everything's fine, but like there's like a period of awkwardness that they're going through right now, of like getting triggered over this or that thing that's new to them, and like maybe their old habits of dealing with stress or fear, and working through that. But I feel like for Alia, like getting into like a really, you know, fitness routine, and just putting all her focus on like, I'm gonna become like the best, most beautiful version of myself now, and I'm gonna enjoy this transformation into like the healthiest version of me, like that's achievable right now. And how fun will that be to see the results, and you know, just to put all her focus on like that kind of self-development. And I feel like that will result in her having like even better work opportunities, and just glowing brighter and having like more success. And then for Ranbir, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know, I hope I'm reading that correctly. I feel like for Ranbir, it's like more of an internal psychological process where he needs to like if something kind of triggers him or creates like old feelings of like old habits, like desiring this or that thing, or he just needs to go like, I'm replacing this desire with my resolve to be like the man I want to become. So it's really like he's fighting with himself and he has to be like the victor. So it's more of an internal process for him. Whereas for Alia, it's like an external process to get her mind from taking over. So they're doing like, interestingly, like the total opposite work right now. I do feel like they could create like a family of at least 2 kids who like are very intellectual children who I don't feel would be like actors necessarily, but just like leaders like in thought, or like, I don't know if they're authors or speakers, or like somehow communicating their good ideas and stuff, like they're, because they'll be like well traveled, they'll have like a high, like a eagle eye view of things, and that they can like then communicate. And like they might say things a bit harshly because they might be like a tiny bit spoiled or something, but like still there's some good information there. So I'm just trying to look for the positive here. I feel like if they have a girl, she would be like an amazing chef, like someone who would run like a sort of Michelin style like restaurant, like very good. And that like people should like respect that, because it is very creative, and like it's like not only is it a business, but it's like creativity, and it's also like being good to people, like providing them with like an amazing experience. So it's like theater in a way. So it's like it's nothing to look down upon, like having like a great restaurant. And then I feel like if they have a son, he'll be like, I don't know if it's like a politician, or anyway, someone who speaks their mind, and like is a leader, let's say, with ideas. So and that, when you think of their relationship, you're not thinking like like heart emojis like constantly spilling, like filling the screen or something like that. Like it's like 2 people who truly want to work together, who trust each other, who want to like create a family and like a life together that's of substance. And so like while there is romance within it, they both have a serious side, and that like that resolve and seriousness is like also like a characteristic of their relationship that would be like palpable like to viewers and stuff like that. The thing is for them to not just get tripped up by the little stupid stuff that comes up. Like if you're trying to create like a palace, don't be mad that like one brick got kicked out. Like you just replace the brick and keep going, kind of thing. So like people might try to chip away at what you're doing with criticism, or trying like on purpose to be like silly and disruptive, but still you're building your palace. And like, okay, maybe if someone was being disruptive, then you need, or prying, you need to just build a hedge, or like there's ways to like solve that instead of like just throwing everything out like because one bad thing happened. So they have to be careful not to like overreact to like little stuff. And that like I feel like Alia is like very like intelligent and like to give her the credit for having like good ideas and strong purpose and to being her husband's like equal intellectually, and maybe that's why they get along so well. Um, and maybe that's why their children will end up being really intellectual because they get it from their parents, that environment of like good discussions and um, strong ideas and stuff. If they establish a really strong routine, a daily routine that is just that serves their relationship, I feel like it'll be that much easier for them like with this structure. And whether that means like for the first 2 years having like live-in help who's like, okay, this is when we have our meals, this is like, you know this is how we decorate our home. Like maybe they have to like I said, like do an internal renovation and also maybe some external just to create this like new vibe of stability and stuff. And it's like maybe every Tuesday there's like a fresh vase of flowers, and it's just like you know what to expect. Um, and then you just sort of adapt to this new template of structure. So and maybe instead of going out to bars, it's like they can invite their friends over to the house. Like it's just like a different vibe, to suit the task at hand, which is like let's do this kind of family thing together. And that means I can't be like out and about getting wasted and coming home at 3 a.m. or whatever was the case before. And just to be patient and like sort of self-parenting. Like a lot of people, whose parents were a bit absent or unsupportive or whatever was the case for both of them, like there's a certain amount of parenting yourself the rest of the way for whatever was missing in your childhood. So I just feel like they need to be patient and like guiding themselves to this through this new stage with love and encouragement and humor. And to know, like, listen, like we decided to get married and that's enough. Like don't overthink it. And it's like, and now we just live through that decision and try to make it as beautiful and stable and like without arguing or just like having faith and setting the tone for things to be good, and working on yourselves, bettering yourself every day. And you'll find that you'll wake up like in a year and a half or so just feeling different, feeling more stable and relaxed, and you did it. Like you transformed. So if you think of this stage as like the cocoon before the butterfly, you don't need like all the fans trying to open up the cocoon going like, how's it going? Like, because then it would like stop the process. So and if it helps people to like through their example be more patient with yourself and know that like if you do want to like make these big life changes and improvements, like you do have to like sort of parent yourself through it and be patient and know that like love is a great goal to strive for, and that there'll be challenges, but like those make you stronger and more focused on like what you want to do and what you like and stuff like that. So in general, I feel good about their marriage, but like with structure and like with her having like a new fitness routine in him being patient with himself mentally, like, and doing the work, it would be successful. I'll just see if there's any last messages. Yeah, I just feel like if there was like let's say he had a favorite restaurant where he'd meet with his friends, I would say like stop going there. Because I feel like the staff or like there's like flirtatious waitresses or like there's just like some kind of like feeling I don't feel great about there where it's just like if he's gonna get married and like change the vibe, like you need to just like redecorate your life with like, okay, I don't eat there anymore, I like eat at this other place, and it's like they have to, and to not feel guilty about it. Just like when you get married, you don't like spend all your time thinking about your exes and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry I can't be with you. It's like, whatever, you made your decision. So just make that decision strongly. So similarly, things that don't serve you or that are distracting or like your old habits, you need to drop them and just not be sorry about it. So I feel like if he just stops going to that same restaurant slash bar or whatever that whatever that place is, like stop going there. And find something that more vibes with like the what you want to create, has more stable. It's still wonderful to go to because it's nice to go out sometimes, but it seems just a more calm type of place. Maybe it has like a interior garden or like there's just something that's just more, it's less of a party zone and more just like a nice vibe or something. So that's my reading on them. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any celebrity reading requests, like let me know through the comments or emailing, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.